completely out macro Much, and I mean it's working so far. I mean Much's advantage was that he had those Reavers in that shuttle, and the fact that he's lost those now, it's absolutely devastating. He's been able to get on another shuttle and another Reaver, but one Reaver is not at this level of these number of Dragoons. I don't think it's going to make as much of a difference, especially with the. I mean, if Stork can go in and snipe it again, it's going to be difficult for. It's going to be really difficult for Much to keep his shuttle and his Reaver back behind his own forces enough that they won't get sniped, but also forward enough that he can get some kills with get some scarabs off. And here comes, this is another decisive battle here. Reaver getting dropped down in the middle of the forces, and it's in a bad place for Stork to snipe it, so that's a very good spot for Much to have dropped his Reaver there. Again, a couple suicide Dragoons running in, chasing that shuttle. They do chase it down, not before he gets off a few scarabs though, but just too many forces for Stork here. He has so many forces he can afford to sacrifice 3 Dragoons to just suicide kamikaze in and take out that shuttle and then take out that Reaver as well. The bulk of Much's forces engaged with Stork's forces, so he couldn't focus fire down those kamikaze Dragoons there. So Stork has a major advantage here now. He's got an extra base on Much. I think Much, it's hard to tell on the minimap, he may be getting his 3rd base up, but he's just way behind in that and just could be getting completely out macroed here. Just ridiculously out macroed. And let me see if I can decipher. Let's see. Okay, so yeah. So not that far behind in population at this point, actually. Stork at 100 population and Much at 85, it looks like. So he's not, well, actually now he's down by 20. The fact that one of those is a Reaver is the only thing that I would say that Much is still in this game. Okay, he does have his 3rd base up. I hadn't noted it before, but he does have that 3rd base up. So Much is still in this. He's still in this. He's not completely out yet, but he is at a disadvantage because militarily he's way behind. Stork just has way too many forces. He's won every engagement. And I mean that's how you win these long-term macro games is, you know, when a battle happens, if you come out of the battle with 5 Dragoons and the other comes out with 2, or, you know, that's just an example, then that means that you've got 3 Dragoons up on them that you don't have to produce to match the opponent. And if you do that a couple times in a row, you end up with a situation like this where Much is, you know, just pretty behind militarily. It looks like Much is probably researching speed upgrade on his zealots. He looks like he's going to try, and he's gone very zealot heavy with his army right now. He's going to have a lot more zealots than Stork, and that could, if he can get speed upgrade going on, it looks like both players already have speed upgrade going. Depending on how the micro works, it could go very well in Much's favor, but man, no, I don't think so, actually. Theoretically, if you can catch your opponent off guard with some speed zealots, if you have a ton of zealots and they have mostly Dragoons, you can just force them back, and the Dragoons are forced to try and run away, and if you can get a surround on them, the zealots will eat the Dragoons alive. And it's still focusing with the zealots here. He's got a ton of zealots, but Stork has just been macroing so well that he has almost as many zealots and way more Dragoons. I mean, again, it's just, you know, Much just has the Dragoons he had left. I think both players have the Dragoons they have left from those battles before. Stork probably produced a few more. Much appears to have produced almost exclusively zealots since then. But Stork just had more Dragoons before, so he's going to have that much more to support his zealots when it comes down to it. So here we see Much trying to move out here. That was his first-person view mode for a minute there. Stork is sending out a Dark Templar. Much has opted for the High Templar with his army, and I think that's probably going to be the better option with all... I mean, both players have got to know that each other has cannons and observers around with their armies. I mean, it's a pretty late game, considering, so they know they're going to have all that sort of tech with their armies here. And here's... Oh, actually, that's Much's Dark Templar, I see. So Much produced a Dark Templar, I'm sorry. I thought that was Stork's Dark Templar. Again, I guess Much just trying to get some free kills. If Stork had been a little bit careless and left one of his bases without a cannon or 2, then it would have been easy to get several kills, and that would have been exactly the sort of thing that could have gotten back into this game. But he did not. So now it looks like they're mounting up. Their big, huge deciding battle may come up here. Now, remember, I know I've been saying that it's kind of a deciding battle a lot, but again, like I said, the army superiority is what determines it. Here comes the battle. There's the two Reavers that he has. They're a little bit far away, so they're not going to be able to get sniped by the Dragoons right here. So the shield of Zealots is going to be able to keep those Reavers alive a lot longer. They're going to be able to do a lot more damage. He also did get a storm off. It looks like much may come out of this, but oh man, Stork's Zealots just melting in a moment. He had a lot more, but they just kind of were all low on hit points. Finally, they all go down. Reinforcements coming in for Stork. Zealots coming in at a critical time, trying to snipe those Reavers. Not a good idea, but oh, Dragoon's coming in. He snipes the shuttle. The Reaver's going to go down. Looks like Much is going to take this battle, but only barely. Only barely. Nice little last-second suicide storm by that Templar coming in for Stork. Much actually takes the battle. I am surprised. For a second there, it looked like he was going to lose that battle because I guess the Reavers clinched it for him. Stork had several more Dragoons. Looked like 4 or 5 more Dragoons by the time all their Zealots died. But I guess the Zealots also... I'm sorry, the Reavers in combination with Much did have a few Zealots left on the left side of Stork's forces, and they were able to go in and do some damage as well. And now Much trying to drive home this advantage. He's only got a slight military advantage, but he's going to see if he can take it. Oh, brilliant storm by Much. Very nice. That was awesome. That was completely awesome. Just 11 kills on the High Templar, all the probes in a line, and he just cast the storm right in front of the probes' route, and they all just ran right through it to their deaths. And reminds me of one time when there was a lightning storm outside, and I decided to go out to a pier to watch it, and the ocean is not the best place to be when there's lightning around, because, well, and also I was next to some light poles and other tall things that might attract the lightning. So that's kind of like a probe running into a storm. Anyway, Much doing a very good job though of using that temporary advantage, even though he only had a few forces and Stork had 0. He was able to try and press that home and do a little bit of damage, and I think he did enough for that. So Much, it looks like, maybe actually taking the advantage in this game. Now he needs to keep this Nexus though, because Stork has, even though he's lost some probes, he's kept that Nexus at the 3 o'clock position. And Stork Star Templar in there. Much's entire army seeing if they can chase down the Star Templar before it takes down the Nexus. If he loses this Nexus, it's going to be horrible. Stork microing his Star Templar away. Only a couple hits left on that Nexus, but I think it is going to go down. Barely goes down before... Oh, man. I wonder if that was the same Reaver from before. Caught out in the open and picked off. I guess he decided not to build another shuttle for it. So he just grouped it with his army, maybe. In any case, wow, those 2 High Templar were dancing.